Morning and thanks for dropping by the channel today. I think we've got a pretty interesting episode for you. It's all about my favorite zoom lenses and which ones I think are the best that Fuji makes. Now, I gotta tell you, my journey started with the X-T3 with the battery grip and the 16-55. And I loved that setup and I had it for a week. I thought it was the absolute cookies. The problem with it is that it was heavy. It was just like my Canon 5D Mark III with the 24-70 f2.8 on it. And I decided that I was going to go in another direction. And by the way, I was selling off my Canon gear, so I didn't have a lot of money roaming around. So I bought an X-T3 with the battery grip and this lens right here, the 18-55, the best kit lens made by any manufacturer. It's unbelievable. This lens is sharp. It's made out of metal, not plastic. It's a beautiful lens. And if I didn't have any other zoom lenses right now, this would be my favorite, but Fuji went and did it. They came out with the 16-80. This lens right here is weather sealed. It's an f4 lens, straight f4. And I gotta tell you, I love this lens. I use this lens all the time. I use it for work. I use it for play. I use it all the time. And to be honest with you, this is going to be my #1 favorite right here because it's never off my camera. And I'm going to show you some images that I've taken with it right now. Oh, and by the way, the 16-55 red badge f2.8 lens is an exquisite lens. It's a beautiful lens. But for me, it's too heavy, #1, and it's too much money. Although I probably could find it used for a good price. For me right now, it's just too big. This lens is so much smaller than it. So, that being said, those of you who are those of you that are 16-55 fans, I'm sorry, but for me, size, weight, cost. That's how I break these lenses down. So, here we go. Show you some of the images I've taken with this lens. There's some beauties in there. So we start out in Maine with this dory in the back of an old truck. Boy, I love this when I ran across it. And then we were over in Mackerel Cove and I got this shot here of this derelict lobster boat pulled up on the beach. It was very interesting. Then my favorite shot from up in Maine, Mackerel Cove, lobster shack with seaweed and rocks pointing up to the reflection. And then off the Portland headlight, lousy day, but interesting light, I will say that. And then over in Essex, this shot here of the Beale and the Maine, really interesting black and white photograph. And also at the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, we got this beautiful old rope, large rope with a dory behind it, very cool. And we have a couple of shots here from Nubble Light. This shot here, slow shutter speed, crashing waves with a ND filter. And the next one here on our main lighthouse tour, got some shots here with a great reflection. We showed our participants this shot. And then also on our main lighthouse tour, these lobster buoys all tied together made for some great reflections. Also on our main lighthouse tour, we ran into a collection of old trucks and cars. I made this shot here along with some others that I'm really, really happy with. The 1680 was perfect. And then I went out to Oregon to visit my boys, and we got this shot here of some beautiful running water and some colorful leaves. This shot here of a shipwright working is tack sharp at f4 at 80 millimeters. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really love shooting with this lens in that circumstance. This autumn door is also nice and sharp. Beautiful, beautiful colors. This next shot of the Bolarama or the Bolodrome, whatever you want to call it, in the fog is amazing. And then at sunrise over Good Harbor Beach, got some contrails with the color. Again, really great for this particular lens. The next lens is, it's part of my journey through Fuji is the way I like to look at it. I didn't have anything long. I had no long lenses at all. I just had that 16-55 and I needed something that was going to give me some length. Oh, excuse me. I did have my 90, but I needed something longer. So on fredmiranda.com, I found this beautiful copy here of the 55-200. And I didn't really like shooting with variable focal length, variable aperture lens. And hey, you know what? It doesn't bother me. 3.8 to 4.5, that's not that big a deal. So I got some beautiful shots with this, and I really love this lens. And then Fuji went and did it again. They came out with this lens right here. Weather sealed, 4 to 5.6, 70 to 300. And I absolutely love this lens. And this is my pick number 2. Oh, I love this lock right here. And, you know, to be honest with you, this lens is in my bag all the time, and it's a beauty. I've gotten some great shots with it, and I know you're going to like them. This lens right here is now for sale, and I'll put I'll put my email address in the description below if you are interested in buying this. Oh, by the way, this lens does not creep like every other 55 to 200 that I've seen. Look at this. No creep at all. Pretty amazing. It's a nice stiff copy, and I'll tell you, it's gorgeous. So let's go look at some photographs that I've taken with the 7300. There's some beauties in there with this lens. Some of the moaning and groaning by the pixel peepers on YouTube was all about the fact that it's not sharp at f4 wide open. Well, yeah, it is. And the next shot is up in Maine with the really colorful lobster buoys and lobster gear. And these next two shots I've got were taken with the 1.4x extender with the 7300. You can see you got the goose in here and everything. Now the next shot here is of a guy working on the bow of a sailboat trying to pull the sail down, and with the waves crashing against the lighthouse up here. The next shot here is just the straight 7300 with the moon coming up over Thatcher Island at the North Light. This next shot here is of the tourist boat going through Portland Harbor. I really love the compression that this lens has, 7300. Love this shot here of the reflections in the lobster boat down here at Rockport Harbor. It really intrigued me. The next shot here is up in Maine along with our lighthouse tour, and we got this guy working, pulling lobster gear in. This next shot was done just after sunrise at the Portland Headlight with the lighthouse tour we had going on. Get the bird flying through and everything with the sun coming up behind the lighthouse. And then the lobster boat thrill over at Port Clyde in Maine during our lighthouse tour. Then off to Oregon, where I got this shot of the autumn color with the snow-capped pine in the background. This next shot, I thought I'd throw in a sports shot that I made with the 7300 all the way out of 300. And look how sharp this baby is. Wow. Now my third choice. Oh, this is a tough one. Really long zoom lenses that I can use for sports. That's what I needed. And, you know, I wanted to do some landscape work with it too. And these two lenses that I'm going to pick from are stunning. They're red badge lenses. And the first one is the 50 to 140 f2.8. This is a photojournalist lens. This is a beautiful, beautiful lens. And this copy that I have here just zooms really nicely. It's all internal. It doesn't go in and out. It's unbelievable. Now, I use it for sports mostly. I've done some landscape work with it, but I really love it for outside sports and news assignments. I've done some news assignments with it as well. But I tend to grab the 7300 because it's nice and light and it's much longer than this. But this I got used from a friend of mine in New York for $1,050, and it's beautiful. Then another friend of mine said, "Hey Kirk, I've got my 100 to 400 for sale for $950. I said, "Sold. I'll just send you the check." This lens is absolutely stunning. I've gotten so many great shots with it. You just can't believe how happy I am to have this lens. It's it's at the 400 range. It's up around 620 or 630 or whatever it is in full frame terms. But boy, oh boy, this lens is absolutely gorgeous. But if I got to stack it up against this, which one do I use the most? It's got to be this 50 to 140. I'm going to keep that 100 to 400 because I love it. I shot some shots of some eagles that I never would have ever got if it wasn't for this lens, because it focuses while zooming, and at the long end, it's 630 or whatever it is, full frame. Beautiful. So let's look at some pictures that I've taken with this lens, and I'm gonna sneak in one I shot with this one here, and I'll mention which one it is. Now, I told you I like to use this lens for landscape work if I'm working out of the back of my car. This is taken with an ND filter, just like this one is here. I really love these. Are beautiful fine art images to me. And the next shot here is, I hiked a little bit to get to this shot, but this is the Annisquam light at sunset. We were waiting for the comet to come up. This is what I do mostly with this lens. I do a lot of sports. And this shot here is of girls softball. The next shot, a couple of shots are of girls hockey. And it's a great lens for shooting hockey, and because I can zoom in and out, but I also love my 90mm for shooting hockey as well. The next couple of shots are just outdoors under the lights with the 1.4x extender. This is soccer, and the shutter speeds here are somewhere around 500 to 680, somewhere in that range. And this is also with the 1.4x extender. Now, I told you I'd sneak in a 100 to 400 shot, and this is it right here. I love this baseball shot. Never would have got it with anything else except the 100 to 400. And also, I thought I'd sneak in this shot here of this giant wave that I did with my 100 to 400. I really love this fine art image. I gotta go with these three lenses right here. Oh, where is it? 16 to 80. 70 to 300, and the 50 to 140. So those are my three favorite. I can't hold the three of them up at once. I'll drop one of them. But those are the three, and I just love these lenses to death. They're beautiful. The lenses that I have kind of left out, one of the lenses I kind of left out here, and it's a lens that I use a lot, but I don't use it as much because I have a 16 to 80 here, and that's my 10 to 24. It's an f4 lens. It's the first version of it, and I got that used, $600 or whatever it was. But it's a stunning lens. I love it. I'm glad I've got it, but it doesn't fit into my favorite three. I had to pick three. Now, I could have taken this out and put the really wide angle in there, and that would have been a nice triumvirate, the 10 to 24, the 16 to 80, and the 70 to 300. That would have been a nice, but I wanted to go with my favorites. And these are the three lenses that I use the most. So that's it. I really wanted to give you an overview of everything, and wish I had that 16 to 55, but I can't. Nope, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. So that's it. If you wouldn't mind, check out the video on the three prime lenses I picked. I really love those. And check out the email link if you're interested in this 55 to 200 right here. And if you wouldn't mind, please give me a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you watching my videos. Thanks, and we'll catch you the next time.